All right, good afternoon. I am here to read. I think it's chapter 9. That's right. The mystery girl, the one yesterday who had that green wool jacket on. All right, it says this. I couldn't wait for school to end on Tuesday. Remember your homework assignment, Miss Gleason reminded us during cleanup. I look forward to reading all the reasons why you feel thankful. I eased over to her desk. Excuse me, Miss Gleason? Yes, Theodore. Well, I can't do that assignment. Is there something else I can do instead? Miss Gleason looked puzzled. I don't understand, she said. I told her about Rags. It's kind of hard to be thankful when you feel rotten, I explained. I'm sorry about Rags, Miss Gleason said, but you still have to do the homework. Even when we're sad, we all have reasons to be thankful. And when we're feeling rotten, it's especially important to remember the good things in life, Miss Gleason shoved folders into her bulging book bag. Without looking up, she said, I expect to see that homework on my desk tomorrow, Theodore. Yeesh. We met in front of my house after school. Nearly everybody was there. Lucy, Kim, Ralphie, and Mila. I handed out posters and tape. We split up. The neighborhood would be plastered with posters in no time. But first, I handed Ralphie a baggie with the green thread. I have a special job for you, I told him. Somehow, you've got to get a hold of Carrie Bartholomew. Check this thread against her jacket. See if it's a match. Ralphie looked at me, surprised. Do you think she did it? I don't think anything, I answered. I just follow the clues. I began to feel a little better. At least I was doing something instead of moping. And there's him and his teacher. I thought about what Miss Gleason said. I guess you could say I was thankful. It was nice to have good friends. Mila and I rode our bicycles into the park to look for Mr. Signorelli. We found him by the picnic tables, sitting alone, surrounded by a handful of squirrels. Mr. Signorelli held a peanut in his hand. Slowly, cautiously, a squirrel moved closer, closer. Suddenly, it snatched the nut and scampered away. You should have seen the smile on Mr. Signorelli's face. This is a nice surprise, he said, as we pedaled to a stop. I was just thinking about that dog of yours. Any luck? We shook our heads. Mr. Signorelli pulled out a cigarette and began to light it. You shouldn't smoke, I said. He scowled. You sound like my doctor. No, just a friend, I replied. And there is Mr. Signorelli with the squirrels. Besides, you don't need to be a doctor to know that smoking is bad for your health. Mr. Signorelli sighed and laid the unlit cigarette on the picnic table. I handed him the poster. He eyed it carefully, holding the poster at arm's length. That's the dog. All right, I'm sure of it. He suddenly snapped his fingers. You know, I just saw that girl a few minutes ago. He pointed toward the lake. She was walking toward the footbridge. If you hurry, you can catch up with her. We were gone faster than you can say. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. We reached her before she crossed the footbridge. Excuse me, Mila called out sweetly. I was wondering if you could help us. The girl looked at us. Oh, I suppose, she said reluctantly. She was tall. Red sweater, jeans. Dirty blonde bangs fell over her eyes. I figured her for 10 years old. 11 tops, probably a 4th grader. Mila gave her the poster. She glanced at it quickly, then shoved the paper into her jeans pocket. I don't like dogs, she said. But have you seen him? Mila asked. We lost him in the park. Nope, never saw him in my life, she answered quickly. Besides, I just moved here, and I definitely wasn't in the park on Sunday. Is that so? Mila said. The girl blew air out of her mouth, making her bangs rise then fall. I was at the mall all day shopping. Any more questions? She turned to leave. I was about to speak when Mila poked me in the ribs. Let her go, Mila whispered. But Mila shh me. We watched her cross over the bridge and walk toward the street. Come on, Mila said. Let's follow her. All right, it's getting good. The next chapter is called Proof. All right, now we have a poem to read. All right, the first one's called Louder Than a Clap of Thunder. Boys and girls, if you hear some noise in the background, we're having some trees cut. Louder than a clap of thunder, louder than an eagle screams, louder than a dragon blunders or a dozen football teams, louder than a four-alarmer or a rushing waterfall, louder than a knight in armor jumping from a 10-foot wall, louder than an earthquake rumbles, louder than a tidal wave, louder than an ogre grumbles as he stumbles through his cave, louder than stampeding cattle, louder than a cannon roars, louder than a giant's rattle. That's how loud my father snores. All right. The bloaters are exploding, or the bloaters are exploding. The bloaters are exploding. They are bursting left and right, like vials of nitroglycerin or sticks of dynamite. They are going up like rockets. They are popping here and there. The sky is filled with bloaters detonating in the air. There's a simple explanation for this odd catastrophe. You are bound to go to pieces when you dine on TNT. TNT, boys and girls, is what dynamite is made of. All right. So, you know what's next. I hope you have a crayon, because I'm going to give you your answers to the work that you did today. All right. So, I'm going to go over math first. So, on the very first page, there was a line that you had to measure. And it said to use your little cubes. So you should have gotten 13 centimeter cubes. Then on page 718, 719, where you had to find things and measure them, I can't give you those answers because everybody's was different. But on page 719, number 7, you should have said not reasonable. No way is a book. 6 centimeters. And then number 8 also was not reasonable. I don't remember what that one was about. Then on page 720, I wrote a sentence using estimate and centimeters. And I said, I estimated my marker to be 10 centimeters long. Okay. Number 10, the first object on that ruler was 7 centimeters. And they said, what if you put another one and make them end to end? Well, if the first one is 7, the second one would be 7. So 7 plus 7 equals 14. Good, your answer is 14. Number 11, a toothbrush is in no way 50 centimeters. In fact, on a ruler, I think it goes up to 30 or 33, and so that means a toothbrush is even longer than a ruler. No way. So your answer should have been 19 centimeters. And then number 12, your answer was 4 centimeters. All right, and then finally, for our little brain book math puzzle for today about the pizzas that you could have ordered. So, I'm going to do all the single ones first. So you could have ordered it just with pepperoni, so that's one way. You could have ordered it just with mushrooms, so that's another way. You could have ordered it just with olives, so that's a third way. Then if you put 2 toppings, you could have put pepperoni and mushrooms together, so that would have been a 4th way. Or you could have put pepperonis with olives, that would have been a 5th way. But you also could have done mushrooms with olives, so then that would have been a 6th way. And your last one said you could put all 3 toppings together, so pepperoni, mushroom, and olive. The answer was 7. All right, boys and girls. Oh, that's right, I forgot to give you answers to the pronoun quiz that you took. Okay, number 1, I hope you wrote she. Number 2, I hope you wrote they. Number 3, I hope you wrote them. Number 4, him. Number 7, we. 5 is we. 6 is it. 7 is us. 8 is he. And then I asked you to use the word her in a sentence. So I wrote one. I gave her a hug. I don't know how you wrote it, but all right, boys and girls, listen. You have a great weekend, and we'll see you back on Monday. All right, bye-bye.